Welcome back for another video. In today's video we'll be looking at the current state of play in FPL, including double game week 25, future double game weeks, which players to consider, the return of Salah and more. A quick thank you to the newest YouTube members, Sean, Rupanjan, Jerry, Matthew, Flandy Charles, FPL Junkie, Ben, Jeremy, Jeebus and Austin. If you'd like to support me by becoming a member too, it's the join button below or link in the description, which includes early access to videos and a private channel on the Discord where I'll give team feedback. Let's start off with the double game weeks. In the most recent Premier League fixture announcement, the only two teams with a confirmed double game week 25 is Man United and Brighton. However, there is a possibility of more teams getting a double in 25, and there's a very strong chance of teams getting a double game week in 26 immediately after. Here's how the fixtures look as it stands from here to game week 30. It's also worth being mindful of the blanks too. Arsenal, Brighton, Chelsea, Leicester and Liverpool all with blanks. It's equally important to plan for the blanks so you don't find yourself at a small blank game week unable to field 11. Game week 30 has no current blanks, but it will be the biggest blank game week of the season and a reasonable game week to consider free hitting. The reason for the blanks is because there are 14 teams which are still in the FA Cup 5th round. The quarterfinals directly clash with game week 30, which will cause a huge blank game week. This means that there's not just those teams in the cup, but the teams who would have faced them in game week 30 who will blank too. So there's 18 teams that could blank as it stands. Arsenal vs Aston Villa is the only fixture guaranteed to be played in game week 30. Let's take a look at the double game week 25 teams and who to consider. We'll start with Man United, with the midfielders and forwards first. Bruno looks the most assured for minutes between him and Ronaldo, though realistically both could play 180 minutes. If you've got Ronaldo already, he's an easy hold, and if you can find a way to fit both Bruno and Ronaldo, it looks worth it considering the fixtures ahead, including both double game week fixtures being at home. I've included Elanga, who has impressed recently and getting minutes, so if you have room for an enabler, he's only 4.8 mil too. United have a lot of depth in his position, so there is a chance he doesn't start all games, or comes off early, but there's worse punts for 4.8 mil. Greenwood is the other one you could consider for a punt, particularly if you plan to wildcard in game week 26, which could end up a bigger double game week. In defence, the only two worth considering are De Gea and Dalot in my opinion. Man United's defensive numbers don't make for great reading. They have 32.61 XGC for the season, which is 15th best, 43 big chances conceded, which is 12th, and 5 clean sheets, which is 11th. However, both games are at home, so there's a reasonable chance of one clean sheet across the two games, and as we've seen from De Gea recently, there's plenty of save points. From Brighton, Mopai could be an option. He's on 7 goals and 3 assists for the season, with 3 assists in his last 4 games, though he gets the odd benching. The only other player that looks worth a punt is McAllister. He's a great budget pick for 5.3 mil, who you can afford to bench, much like Elanga if required. I've included Trossard purely for comparison, who has worse underlying numbers and less returns in recent game weeks. In defence, Sanchez and Cucurella are the two standout options. Brighton's numbers have been very impressive this season. They're 4th best for expected goals conceded, 5th for big chances conceded and 7th for clean sheets. Cucurella is one of the highest baseline BPSs in the game, which essentially is a measurement of BPS with the obvious stats stripped out, for example clean sheets. This is a good measurement of which players are excelling and which players have fallen short when bonus points are awarded after matches. In Cucurella's case, he's only got 1 assist, but he's accrued 14 bonus points, which is the most of his entire team. Brighton have a blank in game week 24, so there's no need to spend a transfer on them this week. This is a graphic from Lego Money, which is an easy view of all teams with fixtures still to reschedule. It's something worth being mindful of, as the double game weeks are always an opportunity to fill up the ranks, and the likes of Leicester, Arsenal and Burnley have 4 guaranteed double game weeks. If you're looking to sell Ramsdale for De Gea, you might consider selling Foster instead, for example. This gives you 2 extra fixtures, which could be 12 points. An accumulation of small but good decisions can affect your ranks significantly by the end of the season. In terms of where all these fixtures will reschedule to, Mikhail Tokvan produced this graphic which has the probabilities represented as a number. Brighton and Man United already have a 2 in game week 25, which is their confirmed double game week, i.e. 2 fixtures. There's a fair chance of Tottenham and Brighton getting a double game week 26 based on rumours, and several other teams could have fixtures rescheduled there too. Again, it's another thing to be mindful of, because if Spurs get a double game week 26 for example, you'll want a route to Son or Kane in your team. Game week 30 will be the biggest blank game week of the season, as we discussed briefly earlier. This is a good opportunity to use your free hit, as it's likely to be tough to field 11. As you can see, game week 36 is likely to be the biggest double game week of the season. If you can keep hold of your wildcard until game week 35, one approach you could take is to wildcard then, and then bench boost the following game week in 36. However, with the addition of the second free hit, you could alternatively wildcard sooner if you need to, and then free hit in game week 36. The triple captain is best saved for whenever you feel there's a good enough fixture pairing. Bruno scored 23 back in double game week 22, which would have gotten you 69 points as triple captain, so you could consider him again for double game week 25. However, Liverpool also have 2 postponed fixtures, including Leeds at home, so you may want to consider Salah once their double game week is confirmed. That brings us on to Salah, who is still away at AFCON. The semi-finals and finals are played on the 6th of February if Egypt progress that far. Liverpool's match against Leicester at home isn't until February 10th, so in my opinion there's a reasonable chance that he's back in time for next game week. If you can only bring in one of Bruno or Salah, it does become a very difficult decision. With Bruno doubling in 25, you'd have to say he just about gets the edge. But as we saw on the graphic before, Liverpool could get a double game week 26 the following game week, so this is something to be mindful of, and as always, keep your options open. That wraps up today's video. It's a new format I wanted to try where I covered a few key talking points, so let me know what your thoughts are below. If you found the video useful, please drop it a like and subscribe to the channel.